Welcome back. It is another lockdown, which means we have got lots of home learning to do. So our first lesson is I can do a comic strip. I can do a comic strip. That doesn't make sense. I can make a comic strip, or I can design, or I like the word design, that's better. I can design, tricky spelling, I'm going to be a brave speller. I can design a comic strip. I never get my sentences right the first time, always have to go back and check them. I can design a comic strip. So comics, what are they? Well, today we're going to focus very much on the comics of superheroes, okay? We've got DC comics, things like Superman and Batman. I've got here the Marvel comics. These are the Avengers, of course, Hulk and Captain America. Not all comics are about superheroes, really. The Beano, one of my favorite comics when I was a child. I love the comics of Calvin and Hobbes. They can be about absolutely anything. So, I'm going to show you how to create a comic strip, because I'm going to make one of my own, show you how I do it. Then I'm going to give you a few ideas of something you can do at home. You're going to make it, send it in to me. So, first things first, I'm going to introduce you to my new superhero for the comic. Her name is Vaccine Girl. I'm going to take down a few of these other ones. Her name is Vaccine Girl, and she is here from Oxford to save Britain from the coronavirus. Okay, that is her job. You can see I've given her a name with a little syringe in it. She's got a V on the front of her for Vaccine Girl, like Superman has the S, yeah? Little logo for her. She carries a syringe in a medical bag wherever she goes, and there is my front page to my comic. So, what's going to happen in this story? This story, basically, I'll tell you what, I'll give it the outline. There's going to be an old grandma who is suffering, she's coughing, she's poorly, and Vaccine Girl is going to hear this. She's going to fly over to Grandma, and then she's going to give her the vaccine, and she's going to help her to get better. So I'm going to break that story down into some little chunks. That's the first thing. I can't start a comic strip without thinking about the whole story, and there will be some other videos about understanding about a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I've got my general idea. So where do I start? Well, I've got a grandma, and she is not feeling well. In fact, I might put some sounds that she is making. Cough. Okay, there might be a splutter. I like that word, splutter. Onomatopoeia. Okay, there might be a sniffle. I'm going to put sniffle. Okay, these are the sort of sounds that are coming out of her. I might put some of these little sort of bubbles and things. Got splutter, sniffle, cough. Okay. Now, my Vaccine Girl, she has super special hearing, and she can hear the coughs coming from out of the house. She hears it with her special superhero sound, and she says, I can hear someone needs help. Needs help. Now, what I am creating here is a speech bubble. I didn't draw the whole speech bubble before I did the writing, because I didn't know how big or how much space I was going to need. Okay, here we've got a speech bubble that looks like this, goes straight into the person's mouth. That means they're saying it. Sometimes people aren't saying things and they are thinking it. And if they are thinking it, I do a little thought cloud like this, and that tells me it's going on in their brain. But we'll see a little bit of that as we're going on with our comic strip. So, here's the coughs from the distance with her super special hearing power. I might use some different colours to show that off. So, what does she do? Zoom! She can fly, of course she can. She's Vaccine Girl. I've done a few of these little shh to show that she is moving. I wonder what she might be thinking at this time. I need to get, my writing's not very good, there quick. I need to get there quick. Put that in a speech bubble. Got a sort of speech bubble next to the bubble of the cloud as well, haven't I? There she is, flying through the sky. Her hair, notice, is sort of waving backwards as she flies. That's going to show me that there's some speed there. Brilliant. All right, what happens next? She is going to arrive at the grandma's house. Now notice with the comic strip, I go along like this, and then I go down and along. It's a bit like reading a book. I would do the same things when I'm reading. I would read along the line, and when I've got to the end of a line, I go down to the next line. What does she think when she arrives at the house? I must wear a mask. And do you know what? I have put that in capital letters. I know she's thinking it, but do you know what? I'm going to really make that a big, spiky, obvious thing. I must wear a mask because it's important, and because it's important, it needs an exclamation mark at the end of it. Okay, I must wear a mask. Here she is. And when she gets inside, oh my goodness, Grandma is so relieved. And she screams, yay! I'm going to have that like this, and it goes down to Grandma. That's what Grandma screamed. Yay! You're here! Okay, and she says, be brave. I'll tell you why she says be brave, because I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of injections. I know they're really important, that we need them to stay safe. In fact, Grandma herself is a little bit nervous about the injection. Can you see, a bit like here, I've split the page to show two things that are going on at once, okay? Meanwhile, something's happening at the same time. This is a bit of a meanwhile moment. Meanwhile, okay? Over here is another meanwhile moment, okay? So while Grandma is looking really worried, the fantastic vaccine is entering her skin and is helping her body to protect against the COVID-19 virus. And here Grandma might be thinking, oh, I'm worried. There she is thinking, I'm worried. And at the very end of my story, Grandma is happy, she's back on her feet. Vaccine girl still wearing her mask, of course, and keeping a good distance, because it's always best to be safe, is waves her goodbye. And what's Grandma going to say? She's going to say, thank you so much, vaccine girl. Vaccine girl. Oops, I didn't mean to make a bubble around that. Thank you so much, vaccine girl. That's the end of my story. So I had a beginning, I had a problem that went on. We then had this middle where the solution of her coming, and then the end, there's a happy ending where it is all over. Simple little comic. It only took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little slides. Best way to do this, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't have lots of pieces of paper at home. Well, don't worry. All you need to do is take one piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in half, like so. You see how I have folded it in half, okay? I'm then going to fold it down like this. So I folded it down, and then I'm going to fold it down again like this. So it looks like I've got this small rectangle. You can just rewind that to see what I did again. And when I open it up, look, I have created space for a small comic strip. And this is all I want you to do to start with. If you want to make it longer, of course you can. But the minimum that I want to see is 8 slides to my comic strip. And I'm going to come up with a few ideas that you could have. You could have any sort of superhero with special powers. They might be able to do some things. I was talking to children in my class about it. They love the powers of telekinesis. They love the powers of invisibility, or maybe flying. There could be all sorts of superhero powers. We could have somebody who's at school. There could be someone getting bullied, and someone comes in and teaches them how to bounce back from their problems. We could have a comic strip about adventures in the snow. You could be making a snowman. The snowman comes to life. Maybe it's a good snowman and it helps people out. Maybe it becomes an evil snowman and it attacks people's houses and everyone has to go out and throw snowballs to destroy it. It's totally up to you. That would link really well with one of the spooky stories that Mr. Keeling has been doing. So, this is your job. Make me a comic strip, fold it up like this. You can make one on a computer if you'd like, or just do one on a piece of paper. Take a photo of it, send it in to us, email addresses as per usual. Good luck.